This is a Pyotr Bagration, a Tier 7 premium cruiser. It's a Soviet cruiser, and it is the final milestone in the Order and Discipline campaign. So, kind of exciting. I'm not really sure what to expect from the ship, since I don't really have all that much experience with the Soviet ships. But let's take a look at how I've got the ship set up, and then the commander. So, the first upgrade for the ship is Aiming Systems Mod 1. That's pretty standard. Dispersion of the main battery is -7%. Torpedo launcher traverse speed is increased by 20%. And the secondary battery firing range and the dispersion is 5% respectively. Second upgrade is Propulsion Mod 2. Third upgrade is Steering Gears Mod 3. Fourth upgrade is Torpedo Launchers Mod 3. And here I selected Torpedo Launchers rather than either of the main battery options here because even though I would get a decrease in the reload time, I didn't want to take a hit on the traverse time of the main batteries. And here I wasn't sure 3 million credits was worth a 5% increase in the gun range. So here we selected the Torpedo Launchers. I should mention that I tried a double steering gear setup. You see here I have it in stock, and it wasn't really all that great of a improvement, and we'll kind of get into that later, but I did end up going with Propulsion Mod 2. You see the turning radius is kind of atrocious here is what the problem is. So as far as the loadout, you see we have the normal ammo, high explosive shells, armor piercing shells, and the torpedoes, which we'll get into in a little bit. And damage control party. Consumable duration is 5 seconds with a 57-second reload time. Here the sonar consumable, it's a normal consumable. Detection of torpedoes is 3 kilometers. Detection of ships is 4.4 kilometers. You can pick either the sonar consumable or the defensive AA fire. I'm not really sure who would pick that, but I've gone with the sonar. And you can see there is not a radar here, so that is kind of interesting. Normal repair party consumable, and I do have all these epic boosters set up, the rare boosters set up. Got an epic booster over here so I can get a little bit more range out of the main guns. And the ship comes with a Type 9 premium permanent camouflage, where the sea detectability and incoming fire dispersion is 4.5% respectively. So let's take a look at the stats of the ship. Survivability hit points is 42,000. Armor is 16 to 210 millimeter. Torpedo damage reduction is 16%. Artillery here, this is set up without the commander setup, so you see a little bit of an increase once I set up the commander. So I did this purposely to not set up a cruiser commander. We'll talk about that a little bit later because I was going between the accuracy commander and the agile build commander. So here the normal firing range of the ship is 16.6 kilometers with an 11-second reload time. HE shell damage is 2,500 with a 13% chance of setting fire, and the AP shell damage is 4,550, which is it's okay for a cruiser. Torpedoes reload time is 111 seconds, and that is with the upgrade to the torpedoes that we saw in that one slot. So otherwise the reload time would have been, I think it's 130 seconds. So this is 111 seconds. Maximum damage is 14,400. Torpedo range 8 kilometers, which is it's decent. Torpedo speed is really slow at 55 knots. Here are your AA defensive numbers. Maneuverability, maximum speed is 35.5 knots. Turning circle radius is 890 meters, and I think this is the issue with a quicker rudder shift time. You see the rudder shift time is 6.8 seconds. When you select the second steering gears option in the upgrades that will go down a little bit, but the problem is I think the rudder only goes to a certain angle, and that is your 890 meter turning radius regardless of rudder shift time. So if you have a quicker rudder shift time, you would just go to that kind of deficient turning circle radius even quicker, which I think does not give you an agile cruiser, and so therefore you don't want to go with the agile cruiser build, you want to go with the accuracy build. Sea detectability is 13.3 kilometers. Let's look at the armor. Here you can see there's a lot of green on the sides, but you see orange and yellowish orange down there toward the bottom. You see the turrets are kind of protected, looks like with 176 to 160 millimeter thickness. So let's remove the armor and take a look at the Citadel. Okay, so you see that the front of the Citadel there on top is really thick, but the bottom is really thin. So you can get taken out with the right kind of shot in the front of the bow here. Let's look at the rear, same thing. And the sides, it is sticking above water and it is really long, but you will notice that the Citadel is sitting inwards from the outer edges of the hull, so that will help a little bit. In general, when I have taken a ship out in the open water, you do get blown out pretty quickly, so you do have to be careful of that. I do believe you want to play this ship at extreme distances, as we will see when we look at the stats after the commander is set up. Let's look at the overview. It's a sure shot. Shells with a good ballistic trajectory maintain velocity, making aiming easier. That is awesome. Long reach, above average main battery range. Hit them before they can hit you, and I think this is the strategy you want to use rather than an agile build cruiser. So you want to play into the long range capabilities of this cruiser, so as you're playing games, your teammates might be kind of frustrated because you're not moving in close, you're out at the outer edges, but that will, I believe, keep you alive longer. Superior AP penetration, above average AP shell penetration, so I think you want to set up the commander to enhance your AP penetration qualities. The Pyotr Bagration is a design for a 15,000-ton cruiser carrying 180 millimeter guns. It was developed for the Soviet Navy at the end of World War II under a new shipbuilding program. The project was notable for its AA defenses, which were reinforced based on the experience gained during prior combat. Year of design is 1945, and it doesn't look like there were any ships in the series, so we're happy to have it here in the game. So here you can see that the commander I had set up was Lev Galler, and he is a battleship commander, so he is not suited for the ship, and I did that so that you can see what the stats on the ship were with the wrong kind of commander. This is my accuracy build commander is Kutsanov. This is the agile build commander, and I did try him out. I did get a bunch of torpedo hits, which you'll see at the end of the battle sequence, or maybe even at the end of the video, so stay tuned for the ending credits. And this guy is the accuracy build commander, and this is who I went with. So let's take a look at his setup. His base trait is follow the sun. It increases the main battery range of your cruiser. So again, this is awesome. It's playing to the highlights of the ship, I believe. And I only have him ranked up to rank 8 because I haven't invested much in the Soviet commanders at this point. I may in the future. You can see I can go all the way down to rank 11 if I want, but for right now we're leaving it at rank 8. And the one inspiration I have is a standard cruiser inspiration of Norman Scott. Increases the shell grouping of your cruiser's main guns, and this is your accuracy build. The first skill is beyond range. It again increases the main battery range of your cruiser, so we're really reaching out a little bit here, you might say. The second skill is Igniter, increases the chance of causing fire with your cruiser's main or secondary battery HE shells, and this I guess could come in handy if you're going up against a battleship. Third skill is Punch Through, increases the armor piercing capabilities and maximum damage of your cruiser's AP shells, so we're really looking to max that out. The second skill, the second inspiration over here probably would be Yamamoto to really enhance that armor piercing capabilities. So the last skill here is Fixated, increases the main battery shell grouping of your cruisers and improves the main battery accuracy for any ship type. So we're really increasing the accuracy, the shell grouping, and the dispersion. So we're really helping everything out. It's not really increased that much, but every little bit counts. Fully Packed is the legendary skill. I've only got them ranked up to 8.1, which isn't thrilling, but it does gain an additional charge for each equipped consumable, as well as reduce the reload time of all consumables. So, okay. So let's take a look at the stats of the ship real quick after we have the commander set up. And you can see the consumables here went up to 3 instead of 2, so that is good. So the stats of the ship, the artillery is the big thing, and we went from 16.6 all the way up to 18.2 kilometers. Reload time 11 seconds. AP shell damage went up a little bit, but that is really kind of about the biggest increase here. Torpedoes 111 seconds. Reload time, that's pretty much the same. So that was really the big difference, is in the artillery range right here, and that is going to be a big deal. Okay, so that's it for the setup of the ship and the commander. Let's go out in a standard battle and check out some highlights. All right, we're in standard, we're in northern waters, and this is the first battle with Kutsunov after I reconfigured the commander setup, and he was ranked pretty low at 8.1, so this will be very interesting, I think. I'm sure a lot of players don't have their commander ranked up big time beyond 14, so this might be more reflective of what a lot of people have with this ship. Only 8.1, so this is going to be kind of instructive, kind of showing that maybe you don't really need a very high rank to get a really good score. So the initial option here is to do some long-range sniping like this, and you can see I've got the AP selected, so I'm not really looking to go into fire mode at this point, but I'm looking to do long-range AP damage, and that's kind of where I start the match off here. And I'm trying to use the island for cover as much as possible. If you're out in the open water, you will still get obliterated, really. And there's a Khabarovsk. I don't think he's really too much of a danger at that distance. But I took a shot anyway, and I did get 4 hits. So that kind of shows the accuracy of the Bagration. And I found this ship to be really accurate, as you're going to see here in a little bit. So there's a Yamato that showed up at extreme range, and I still have AP selected. So I'm not sure how effective the AP is against battleships, you know, especially the Yamato. You can see there's a little bit of damage there, but eventually I am going to switch to HE, and we're going to play the fire game. So now you can see HE is selected, and the reload is actually fairly quick. So even though it's, I don't know, less than 15-second reload time, it does seem like a fairly quick reload. And so now we're going to start raining fire on the Yamato from this protected position here. And you're going to see later on in the match that shells are not going to go through, even though there is no island indicator. So it's going to show you that the island will get in the way sometimes, and the indicator will not come on. So here's 2 fires that we started right off the bat, and this is basically awesome. This is a good strategic point for me, and I plan on sitting here as long as possible, just raining fire down on the Yamato. We're up to 21,000 already, and climbing. 24,000, 26,000, 27. And now it looks like he's moving a little bit. He's angled. Another fire gets started, and there's another battleship that is, or I think it's in Alaska. It's in Alaska, and he goes behind the Yamato. I don't know if he really blocks him or not, but there you see I got hit by a teammate, and what you see when I pull away here is he's pushing me toward the island, and this is going to mess up my angles, where prior to this I did have enough room to get above the island, but now you can see I'm drifting right there, and I'm drifting closer to the island, and it's going to make the arc of these shots just that much more difficult. So got to be careful with your teammates, because that kind of stuff does happen to you, it seems like. And so now we started a total of 5 fires, 50,000 damage, and this is looking pretty good. The Agile build does not get anywhere near this range, so you're not going to be moving around like you expect with the Agile build, and you will just get basically obliterated, as I did the first several matches with this ship with the other commander. So I thought it was kind of remarkable how accurate Kutsunov is and how much damage you can rack up with a fairly low-ranked commander. So you don't really need a very highly ranked commander to get a good score. So here you see the island indicator is showing, but we did get a couple shells through, and this is why sometimes, even though you'll see the island indicator, you will still get some shells through, and there's a couple shells that still went through. And so now there's still no island indicator, and there's some more shells coming through. So all right, so I'm still not blocked yet, but I thought there was a time here when there are no island indicator, no shells go through, or very few shells go through. So that was a couple of shells that went through, each of them were hits. And so here there was no island indicator, and all the shells hit the island. So you don't always rely on the island indicator, let me just say that. So here again, I took a shot and the islands blocked my rounds, even though the island indicator was not popped up, and I'm moving out of the way here because I'm afraid this guy is going to get an easy shot at me and kind of like wreck my day. So we're up to 84,000 damage already with 5 fires and 90 main gun hits. So this is already my highest scoring match in the Bagration, and now what I'm doing is I'm going to turn around and do a 180 to try to give me more room away from the island, because my teammate pushed me toward the island, so now I'm trying to get farther out, and with the really wide turning radius, that's not much of a problem. So there I'm taking a shot where I'm estimating the Bismarck may possibly be. So now I'm just turning around and trying to get out of there as quick as possible, because I am afraid that this guy will blow me out of the water. Luckily he's hitting me with fire instead of AP. And I'm only taking a couple hundred. So here I'm going to try to shoot in between this gap in this island here, and you see a few of the shells do get through. And we do get 3 hits, even though they were shatters. I was hoping for a fire to get started, and that didn't happen. So, okay, so now the Bismarck is coming around the island, and I'm just going to start hitting him again, hoping to start another fire. Bismarck is kind of prone to fires, so it's one of my favorite ships, so that's how I kind of aware of that. So I'm trying to take advantage of it here, I guess. And so here we are peppering him again. There's another fire that got started. That is awesome. I got the Witherer medal. So I think you get the Witherer medal from getting a certain percentage of damage on the ship from fire damage. I think that's what the Witherer is. And the Alaska is back there strategically hiding behind that island. So now I'm going to push out and try to I guess try to finish off the Bismarck somehow. Somehow I feel more confident, especially with other ships targeting the Bismarck. I don't think he's going to be focused on me so much, and his guns are definitely pointed away. So this is a perfect setup for me, even though it looks like his secondary started going at me. And so here I'm waiting for the guns to reload. And there I'm taking some more shots, and he got taken out before my shells were able to hit him, but it's still a destruction and a good score for the blue team. So good job on my teammate that got the destroyed ship. Now I'm going to come around and focus on capturing A and looking to work on the Alaska over here and this other battleship that's still left. We're up to 88,000 damage, and here's the Alaska coming out from behind the island. So I'm going to try an opportunistic shot here. You can see he disappeared, but I did fire when I had him on a target, but I didn't aim far enough ahead. So now I'm trying to compensate for that. And you can see a lot of those rounds hit the island, but a few made it through. And those were 3 hits and a fire starting. So that is awesome. Three more hits, and we're almost reloaded again. So this is awesome. Only 10-second reload on these guns with the commander setup. So, and the booster. So this is awesome. So there's a Yamato. That's the other battleship, is the Yamato. And we're just going to come over here and try to finish these guys off. 97,000 damage. So this is turning into a great game. All those rounds hit the island, even though the island indicator was not up. A lot of times I'll try something like this, hoping that it will clear the island and have enough of an angle to get the ship on the other side. It works fairly often, enough for me to try it. And so here's another one of those types of shots on the Alaska. You see we captured the flag, and we're going to go over and try to finish off these ships. And they are staying pretty well behind the island here, but he is moving out, so I'm trying to get an opportunistic shot at him, and he didn't come out enough. So there's the back end of the Alaska, and I probably should have aimed for the back end, but I'm going for the superstructure of the ship. And now he's coming out, and I can aim at the hull of the ship. And so when they're backing up, you just aim at the rear end like that at the very end, and there's another fire got started. 101,000 damage, so we're up above 6 figures. That is awesome. And here, another shot. It does clear the island. We do get many more hits, 8 more hits, it looks like, 108,000 damage. The fire is still climbing, and I'm going to take another shot at the Alaska. You can see we have 57 seconds left, so it really looks like we will win this battle. 115,305. 115,469. That is a great score. We have 1 second left. That's it. The battle is ended. We do reach some milestones here. That is great. $373,000 credits, 115,000 damage, 146 hits, 8 fires. First place overall. That is an awesome result. So I didn't get any destroyed ships, but I did cause a lot of damage to allow my teammates. There we clear 226,000 credits by the time it's all said and done. Well, that's it for the Pyotr Bagration. I'm finding that it is a great cruiser that I'm having a lot of fun playing, and you have to play the long game and turn on the fire when the situation suits it, and you should be just fine. This is the Jaguar, and I'll see you on the high seas. Thanks for watching, and subscribe if you like it.
I need intelligence, guy. I need intelligence, all stations, reporting the position of a strategic target. Acknowledged. Ship is on fire! Concentrate fire on the boarding and target position. Set a smoke screen! All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
We've destroyed an enemy battleship.
Is taking the lead.